Have you ever taken up a fitness program and been consistent with your workouts but still see no progress? It's probably because you're inconsistent with your nutrition and tracking what you eat. You don't have to overcomplicate calorie tracking, and it's going to be really easy once you see it this way. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 levels of calorie tracking, and it's the most fundamental thing that you need to do if you're on any type of fitness journey, be it fat loss, weight loss, or even weight gain. But I mainly talk about weight loss on this channel. As someone who spent over 10 years trying to crack the code to fitness and learning how to stick with it, let me tell you that you don't always have to worry about your protein intake from the get-go. This is not to say that protein isn't important. What I'm trying to say is people have survived without tracking their protein intake for years. So it's okay if you're not hitting 120 grams of protein every single day, especially when you're just starting out. So don't let that pressure discourage you from building consistent food and nutrition tracking habits. Again, this isn't medical advice, and I'm not a registered dietitian. So if you have specific concerns, you should consult your doctor. How do I know all of this? It's because I've spent a lot of time researching this stuff online, and I'm just sharing what's worked in my experience. Okay, so let's talk about calorie tracking. Take a look at these 3 levels of tracking and decide for yourself which is best for you and your goals. And you can progress through the levels as you become more familiar with tracking food patterns. And to be very honest, unless you're super serious about performance training or athletics, you don't even need level 3. Okay, so here's the first principle of tracking and what it actually does. Before we touch any apps, I want you to understand that tracking food is not about being obsessive. It's about awareness. Multiple studies in behavioral psychology have shown that self-monitoring alone significantly increases the likelihood of behavior change. When people track what they eat, weight loss outcomes improve compared to the people who don't track, simply because you can't manage what never gets measured. Think of your fitness routine like running a business, and a business wouldn't run if they didn't track their finance and operations. So tracking food is just like financial budgeting for your body. In this video, I'm going to show you how I set my calorie budget and track my food using this app called Lose It, as well as how it integrates with my workouts. And with that, I'm also going to show you this calorie budget calculator that I created in Excel. I've linked it in the description below, and you can download it for free. And the reason why I'm also showing you this in Excel is because apps can calculate the calorie budget for you automatically. But here's the issue. When the app says you need to eat, let's say 1,800 calories every single day, most people don't really understand what goes behind it. And so they don't trust it. And when you don't trust something, it becomes really easy to abandon it. So I want you to use this Excel template to get a feel of what goes on in calculating these calorie budgets and how you can use it to optimize your own fitness routine and tracking. And once you see the math, you understand the structure behind it. And once you understand that, you stop feeling like you're dieting blindly. Then use the apps to simply execute. Okay, level 1, calories only. This is for you if you feel overwhelmed by weight loss tips easily, or you just want to lose weight and not worry about things like macronutrients, carbs, protein, and vitamins and things like that. Or you're just navigating change and you just need something really simple. Basically, if you try to overcomplicate things, then level 1 is your move. So what this actually means is that you set a calorie budget, you log your food, and you stay within that budget. If your budget is 1,800 calories a day, your only job is to not exceed that budget. You're building the habit of consistency and awareness. That's it. So let's look at this in Excel, and then I'll show you how I use it in the Lose It app. Use it and lose it. That rhymes. Okay.
I'm going to enter the details into all the gray cells. For activity level, I'm going to pick moderate. And we need this because the calorie budget is adjusted accordingly. 3 to 5 times a week is a good place to be for visible results. Now the goal here for level 1 is typically just weight loss. I've also included the deficit numbers you can use for your goals. And 500 is pretty aggressive, but it's good for quick weight loss, especially when paired with consistent workouts. I'd suggest including protein in your diet so you don't feel very hungry with such big deficits. And at this rate, you can expect to lose up to half a kilo each week. For sustainable fat loss and body recomposition, I recommend using the 200 calorie deficit. It's slower but more comfortable and good for retaining muscle mass. Okay, so down here you see your BMR, which is what your body burns without exercise. just while existing. And the TDEE is how much you would burn in total with moderate exercise. That's 2150 calories. So if you want to lose weight, you have to eat less than you burn, and that deficit number that we've selected is 500 calories. So 2153 minus 500 is 1653 calories. That's your budget. Now let's take a look at this in the app. Downloading and setting up the account is pretty straightforward, so I'm going to be skipping that part. The app also asks for your height, weight, sex, and age and recommends a reasonable deficit along with the estimated timeline for your goals. And it also has the option to modify the recommended budget just by a little in case you feel it's a bit too restrictive. And you can set your start and end goals over here as well. The app also lets you customize the minimum budget and the rate at which you want to lose weight, considering your activity level. Now, logging food is pretty straightforward. You can either scan the barcode on the label, which is actually a premium feature, or just search by name and add the quantity. Now, you need a food scale to measure the quantity, and so initially you have to measure everything until you get a sense of how much food you need to be consuming. And then once you get used to it, you can almost eyeball it. So this app also shows me how many calories I've burned during my workouts and adjusts the budget accordingly. And this view here in the dashboard lets me see how consistent I've been over the weeks. If you're consistently in the red, you won't see results. So make sure every week you're under the set budget. You can also log your weight here to keep track of how you're progressing each week. Essentially, you see all your weight loss insights in one place.
The key takeaway here is that if you can stay within your calorie budget consistently, you will change your body composition. Okay, so now let's move on to level 2. Here we track calories and macronutrients. Now here's where people mess up. They directly jump to tracking macros because social media says they need to. I mean, I've seen this myself. It's full of advice on what's good protein, what's bad protein, and recipes. But personally, I think that advice is of no use if you have no experience with calorie tracking or you've not built that habit consistently. Your macros are like the structure within the calorie budget. So level 2 is for you if you strength train regularly, you want better energy, recovery, performance, all while building muscle, or you plateaued on level 1. So level 2 gives you more control over your diet. Before we move on, I just wanted to add a quick note on what macros actually are. So calories come primarily from 3 sources. We have proteins, which have approximately 4 calories per gram, carbs, 4 calories per gram as well, fats, which have approximately 9 calories per gram. So if your total budget for the day is 1800 calories, then those calories must come from some combination of the 3. Now, protein is the one that matters the most for fat loss or any kind of body recomposition. And you need to make sure that you get a high proportion of calories from protein. And research has consistently shown that a higher protein diet not only supports muscle growth, it also helps you feel fuller during calorie deficits. So in level 1, if you were just saying, okay, I need to hit 1800 calories today, in level 2, you would say something like, I want 30% of my calories to be from protein. So 30% of 1800 is 540 calories. And since each gram of protein is approximately 4 calories, you would need 135 grams of protein for your 1800 calorie diet. Now 30% is just an example I used, and this proportion would change depending on your goals. Like if you're maintaining your weight or you're focused on fat loss or muscle gain or whatever it is. But there are some well-established ranges that work for most people. And the general guideline for most healthy adults is that you get 15 to 35% of your daily calories from protein. So now you understand how your diet can have structure. The other way to think about this is by using this guideline, which tells you that the minimum amount of protein that you require in your diet, even if you're not focused on fat loss or body recomposition, is 0.8 1 gram per kilo of body weight. Alternatively, for high protein diets where you're focused on body recomposition or muscle gain, you need 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight. And that's also what I've included in the Excel template. So let's take a look at how we can calculate this in Excel first, and then I can show you how you track this within the app.
For level 2, you now need to split your calorie budget into its macro components. So I'm going to select my preferred protein range. It's it's obviously easier to hit 1.8 grams per kilo than 2.2. And the other thing to select is also the proportion of fat in your diet. If you're focusing on fat loss, especially to get more toned or shredded, your diet needs to have low fat, and 20% is a safe minimum for most healthy adults. So this tells you how many grams of each macro you need and roughly how many calories that translates to. So now all of this adds up to your total calorie intake per day. Plus, you're aware of how much protein, carb, and fat you're consuming. And in percentages, it looks something like this. And that's how you track macros. So you should now have more clarity to find different recipes that meet this protein target. So you'll see that when I change this around, how the macro split also varies. So within the app, once you start logging your food, it calculates the macros in it automatically. And this is why if you've already done some research on how much quantity of food you need to meet the macro target, it will reflect in the dashboard in the app. Otherwise, you're going to see this haphazardly inconsistent macro split in the food, like in my example dashboard here, and that's not particularly helpful for body recomposition progress.
So at level 2, the key takeaway here is this. Your calories determine how much weight you lose, but your macros, and especially protein, determines the quality of your food and ultimately your body composition. And I also want to say that at this point, it could take a little bit of trial and error to figure out what quantity of food actually meets your macro goals without overdoing it. Lean meats like chicken and turkey are really high sources of protein, which also have fewer calories, and even eggs. So make sure you include some of this in your diet if you eat meat. Okay, so moving on to level 3, or the pro level, is where you track calories, macros, and micronutrients. And let me be clear, most of you do not need this level. I don't even use it myself. And I'll tell you why in just a bit. Micronutrients are essentially the vitamins and minerals that your body requires to function efficiently. Components like iron, magnesium, vitamin D, potassium, etc. Level 3 tracking is for you if you have a diagnosed deficiency, or you're dealing with specific medical conditions, or your doctor just instructed you to monitor your intake. In fact, most of the micronutrient levels are actually monitored through very detailed blood tests and reports, so unless you get them done periodically, you wouldn't actually know what the levels are in your body. If you're eating balanced meals with lean protein, fruits, vegetables, whole foods, nuts, and you have some variety in your diet, you're already covering most of it. So micronutrient tracking then becomes really essential for people who are focused on performance training, athletics, have some clinical requirement, or maybe they're just an optimization nerd. And if you really wanted to do that, here's how it would work. So this app that I mentioned in this video, Lose It, has limited micronutrient tracking, but I did a quick search and I found this app called Chronometer, which actually has a detailed breakdown of even the micronutrients in your food. And you can find some of these micronutrient guidelines online, and I've also included a table for your reference in the Excel as well. For example, you require 30 grams of fiber every single day. So if you're aiming to meet your micronutrient intake as well, you would just adjust the proportions of the food that you eat to make sure that they contain the amount of micronutrients that you want. So for increasing your fiber intake, you would include more vegetables, whole grains, or legumes in your diet. And if you have a deficiency that's revealed through blood tests, your doctor will likely recommend supplementation. So that's one source of micronutrients as well. So micronutrient tracking is not really a level 1 thing. It's about optimization and not an absolute necessity. Okay, so the point of this video is to serve as a guideline for how you need to track your calories. If you struggle with baseline consistency, just use level 1. If you train regularly and want to focus on muscle development and retention, then use level 2. If you have very specific health and fitness needs, you need to focus on level 3. And before we wrap this up, I also wanted to say that you don't have to track your calories forever. After a few weeks or months of consistent tracking, you will get an idea of what, let's say, for example, 20 grams of protein looks like, or what 500 calories looks like. So you'll understand portions better and you would have internalized the structure. But until then, without tracking, you're just guessing. And people who are serious about achieving their fitness goals don't guess, they measure. So pick your level, open the app, and log your food today. Clarity creates action, and action creates change. If you found this video helpful, do check out the other fitness videos on my account. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.